These are the best and worst exercises to build an anime-like chest. This is going to be one of those good old-fashioned ranking videos where we kind of determine which exercises are worth doing and which exercises maybe you want to skip out on. But side note, all of these exercises will work if done properly. There's just some that maybe are a little bit more efficient for you and work a little bit better. So let's start off with the body weight exercise. And side note, for all of these exercises, we're going to determine how well they actually target the muscle and how effective they are. And stick around to the end where I'll determine my 3 favorite chest exercises and bump them up to S tier. Alright, back to the ranking. First up is the good old-fashioned push-up. Push-ups are like the OG of chest exercises. People were doing these long ago, since the dawn of time, to really grow their chest. Like the Greek gods or like Hercules or something like that. They were always doing push-ups. Actually, I don't know that for a fact, but I just assume they were because it's body weight and it's like the most rudimentary style of exercise. This is actually a really great exercise, but the push-up in itself has some limitations. Number one, you can't really go all the way down in the sense of getting a deep stretch with the chest. And we'll talk about another exercise that I actually like a little bit better for this in the future. But because of that, there's a little bit of limitation. And then also, once you get really good at it, like you're doing 30, 40, 50 reps, all the way up to like 100 or something, it almost becomes more of an aerobic exercise once you get strong enough. Therefore, to get stronger, you have to make it more difficult by adding weight in the form of like a weighted vest or a backpack or something like that. But overall, this is the exercise that actually got me started into fitness, so I absolutely love them. I'm going to give this a B tier. Up next, we have the diamond push-up. This is when you put your hands together in kind of a diamond shape, go all the way down, kind of touch your chest to the hands, and then all the way back up. This is a great exercise for building the triceps, assuming you don't have any elbow issues or anything like that. But in terms of building the chest, it has the same limitations as the push-up, but it targets less of the chest and more of the triceps. So this is going to go down to C tier for me. And like I said earlier, none of these exercises are really that bad, so I'm probably going to have very few in D tier because I really believe that if you just work hard and do these exercises, you're going to see gains even with the worst of the worst exercises. But I also like these style of videos because it helps you with your efficiency in your training. All right, up next we have what I think is probably the best body weight exercise for building the chest, and that is the deficit push-up. This is a push-up where your hands are propped up on some blocks or some dumbbells or something like that, and then you can go all the way down and get a deep stretch in the chest. This basically fixes the only issue that I had with the regular push-up. And just like the regular push-up, you can make it harder by having a backpack or a weighted vest on. This is a great exercise. I'm going to put it all the way up to A tier. And last but not least, for the body weight exercises, we have the good old-fashioned dip. I love dips. I think they're great. They're a really good front delt and tricep exercise. But for the chest, you have to do them where you're kind of leaning forward. So maybe someone can hold your feet or you have them up on something. But you have to angle yourself slightly forward, almost like you're doing just a regular deficit push-up. So this is a good exercise for the chest, but it's a better exercise for those other muscle groups. But I do like that you can have a really deep stretch on it, so I'm going to put it into B tier. Okay, up next we have just a few machines. The first one is a regular chest press machine. Now it really depends on exactly which machine you're using. Some chest press machines are really awesome, and some chest press machines just honestly really suck. But if you have a good chest press machine, or if you put like a pad behind your back to get a deeper stretch, I love this exercise. I'm going to put it into A tier. And with our next exercise, we have the incline chest press machine. Same deal here as with the normal chest press machine. It really just depends on the machine that you're working on. This could be anywhere from like a D tier machine to an A tier machine, but I'm going to take these exercises at their best and I'm going to go ahead and place this in A tier as well. Now, side note, I really like exercises that emphasize the upper chest a little bit more than ones that are more flat or decline, as you'll see in some of the upcoming exercises. The reason is because research shows that maybe working your upper chest is better for your upper chest, but also just as effective for your mid and lower chest as like a normal pressing motion. So because of that, I'm normally going to lean towards something that's more of an incline. And because we want an anime style of physique, we need to have a fully developed chest, not just a good lower chest, but a really great upper chest that kind of gives that shelf vibe. All right, last but not least on the chest machine exercises, we have the pec deck fly. I don't mind this exercise, it's just that sometimes when people do this exercise, they'll feel a little bit of strain on their shoulders. And again, it depends on the exercise, it depends on the setup, but if you're in your best position, you're not feeling a lot of strain, you can get a really deep stretch. Now, you are a little bit limited on the contraction portion, which is kind of fine. If you had to emphasize one, I'd rather it be the stretch. So I actually think it's a really good exercise, but you have to have a good machine, just like the other ones. I'm going to put it in B tier. It's a really great exercise for emphasizing that stretch. All right, now we're moving on to barbell exercises. First up is the barbell bench press. This is the ultimate bro lift. I love the barbell bench press. It's one of my favorites. I used to compete in it, so I'm obviously biased and think it's an amazing exercise. It's really great for growing the chest. I would say if you do it and you want to focus on hypertrophy, like making the muscle bigger, try to get a cam bar, one of the bars that are bent. That way you can get a deeper stretch. Other than that, this is just really good for packing on mass because you can use so much weight. Same with the incline bench press. This is one of my favorite exercises for developing the upper chest. I'm also going to put it in A tier. Up next, we have the decline bench. Like I said, I don't like so much emphasizing the decline. It isn't a bad exercise, but it's probably just not going to be as efficient for developing the overall musculature of the chest. Therefore, I'm going to place it in C tier. Finally, we have the floor press. It's a horrible exercise in terms of working on the stretch because you stop before you even get down to your chest. It's when your elbows hit the ground. So it's not a great exercise for range of motion or feeling that stretch. This used to be a bigger exercise back in the day, and people would do it for things like powerlifting and stuff like that. But for hypertrophy and really building that chest, it's not a great exercise. I'm actually going to place this one all the way to the bottom at D tier. Up next, we have the cable fly. I have to say, this is one of my favorite exercises. I like it better than the pec deck because you can get a deep stretch, because you can go all the way back and all the way forward, and you can kind of cross over, which I love to do. I don't think it's really necessary to do that, but it just feels a little bit better for me. I love the range of motion on it. I love the fluidity of the cables. So because of that, I'm going to give it an A ranking. Up next is the cable press. This is a great exercise, but it lacks the stability of a machine or a dumbbell or barbell where you're laying on a bench. And with pressing motions, because you're getting the triceps and shoulders a little bit more involved than on fly motions, you can utilize more weight, and since you have that lack of stability, it's not as great for developing the chest as some of these other exercises, so I want to put it in C tier. And side note, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to comment and let me know that down below. And finally, we have the dumbbell exercises, starting with the dumbbell press. This will be a flat bench just like your barbell. You can go all the way down into a deep stretch so you have a better range of motion. This would be like using a cambered barbell, so you can go all the way down, get that deep stretch, and then of course go all the way up for a full contraction. So I love the dumbbell press. I'm gonna put it in A tier. And side note, you'll notice I haven't put any in S tier yet. That's because I'm waiting till the very end to pick 3 of my favorite exercises, what I think are probably must-do exercises. So when I finish up with the dumbbell exercises, I'm gonna give you my 3 favorite, and we're gonna put those in S tier. So make sure to stick around to the end for them. Okay, up next we have the dumbbell incline press. This has all the benefits of the regular dumbbell press, except now we're on an incline. And like I mentioned earlier, for overall muscular development of the chest, incline motions may be a little bit better. So I like this just as much as the dumbbell press, if not more. So we're going to place this definitely in A tier as well. Then we have the dumbbell decline press. I have the same issues with that as I do the barbell. It's a great exercise, but it may not be the best angle for developing the chest. The position's definitely not as easy to get into as a normal dumbbell press or a dumbbell incline press. So for that reason, I've got to move it down to D tier. Next, we have dumbbell flies. This is a great exercise for emphasizing the chest. I really like it. You're also very stable on the bench. You could also do this at an incline. I'm going to give this a B, mostly because I find that it's really hard to progress with weight on these. And in my experience, for some reason, this could just be me totally. I could maybe bump it up a tier without this, but it just doesn't feel as natural on the shoulders. Like sometimes I get a little crunchiness and stuff like that in there. Other than that, I think it's a great exercise, but I just like the setup of the cable fly a little bit better. Up next, we have the dumbbell floor press. There's the same issue on this as there was with the barbell floor press. You can't go all the way down. It's just not a great exercise overall for developing the chest. Like I said, if you're training for something specific like powerlifting, trying to grow your bench, maybe you could do the barbell floor press or something like that. I don't even think I would do dumbbell floor press. It's an okay exercise, but it's definitely not going to be one of your better ones. I'm placing it in D tier for sure. Next, we have the plate press. This just overall isn't a really good exercise because you can't really progress in weight once you get past like a 45 or something like that, so you can't do a lot of weight. On top of that, you can't really get a good stretch, and your arms are in so far, it's probably targeting a lot of the triceps as well. I do like the squeeze that you have to have with the exercise, but that's just not enough to put with some of these other exercises. I'm going to have to also place that in D tier. And then finally, we have the dumbbell pullover. This, again, is just not a great exercise for the chest itself. It's more of an exercise for the lats. It's not absolutely horrible, but it's not great either. I'm going to place this one in C tier, could be D tier. All right, so that's all the exercises I'm going over today. Here are my top 3 that would be in S tier. Number 1, the deficit push-up. I love this exercise. It's one of the best body weight exercises that you can do in general. And if you prop your feet up like you do your hands, you can kind of target more of the upper chest as well. So this is a great exercise. Number 2 is the dumbbell incline press. This is a really great exercise for targeting the whole of the chest. You can go all the way down, get a deep stretch, and all the way back up. It's not really a hard setup. It's very stable. This is a great exercise. And the last exercise I'm going to place in S tier, the cable fly. Which one of these exercises is your favorite to do to build a chest like your favorite jacked anime character? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.